From two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Welcome into a Tuesday, the third day of February for 2026. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to get your day started the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. The new AP Men's College Basketball poll is out. And after suffering a couple of losses last week to Michigan and to Illinois, Nebraska remains in the top 10. We'll talk about that coming up. The Nebraska baseball team getting ready to open up their season this weekend at the MLB Desert Invitational in Arizona. The Huskers will have games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll get some comments coming up from Husker head baseball coach Will Bolt as the Huskers get ready to open their season this weekend. Brent Prince of Nebraska has advanced to the list of 10 midseason candidates for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year award. Hastings is tied for 7th in the GPAC softball preseason poll. We'll take a look at the poll this morning. High school basketball tonight, big one between Hastings St. Cecilia and Adams Central at the Patriots Gym. Hastings High in action tonight as well as they are playing in Grand Island against Northwest. And the NFL going to be playing 9 games internationally this year. So we'll talk about the schedule all coming up. All that and more as you wake up and get going with us here this morning. Thanks for joining us at the breakfast table, so to speak, as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. As we get going here on a Tuesday, you mentioned the NFL International schedule release kind of came out yesterday. I think, London 3 times, a couple new locations as they can continue to try to grow this game internationally. We can bitch about it all we want. It's not stopping. Roger Goodell sees the revenue, sees the money, sees the international support as they try to grow this game on a global basis. This isn't going to slow down. Again, as an owner, if I'm getting home games potentially ripped away, I'm not excited or happy about it. There's probably going to be a kickback in somewhere. I imagine they're not getting totally screwed, because why would rich owners ever get totally screwed out of anything? It is what it is, right? Like we can sit here and gripe and complain and whine all we want. They're gonna grow the game, and they're not gonna stop doing it. So
I just hope that everybody, I wouldn't say has a chance to play overseas, but everybody is forced to play overseas.
Right, and don't just make it Jacksonville.
Yeah, don't make it Jacksonville. Don't make a team go play an international game twice in 1 year. Spread it around a little bit. If you're going to play internationally, then don't concentrate in just a couple of teams that you forced to play over there each and every year. If you played over there in the past, there's 32 teams out there.
Right.
Make them go play overseas.
I don't think Dallas has played once.
It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do.
No.
So make the rest of the teams play over there. Yeah, like I said, make Dallas play over there one time. But anyway, they're going to be playing in Mexico City for the first time since 2022. Mexico City is one of the sites that they'll be playing at. The NFL also playing regular season games this year in Paris, in Melbourne, Rio de Janeiro, Munich, and Madrid, and then 3 games in London. All those games will kick off at weird times on Sunday, so you'll be screwed for your fantasy football lineup.
You mean weird times? You're in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, what time is that going to be?
That's like Saturday at midnight.
So, yeah, it's anyway. You like I said, it is what it is. You just kind of live with it. But I think, like I said, I just hope that they make the rest of the teams play over there. Like Kansas City opened the season last year with an international game. Opening the season is tough enough, and then making a team travel internationally to play a game is not good. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's the tops in the NFL scene, that they're going to play 9 international games here this year. As long as we're talking about the NFL, the Cleveland Browns are hiring Ravens run game coordinator Travis Schweitzer to be their offensive coordinator. So basically, he's moving on from Baltimore to Cleveland, along with a new staff of Todd Monken, who is moving from Baltimore to Cleveland. So he's just snagging a staff member there, the Ravens, to join him in Cleveland. So Travis Schweitzer will be the offensive coordinator. He has spent the last 3 seasons as the run game coordinator for the Ravens. And he's the second known addition to Todd Monken's staff there in Cleveland. The Browns are also hiring former Ravens offensive lines coach George Warhop to the same role. Actually, he was on the Cleveland's staff as the offensive line coach from 2009 to 2013. So he is moving from Baltimore back to Cleveland as part of the new staff there of Todd Monken. So,
Go ahead.
I was just saying the Browns are going to have some Ravens flavor on their coaching staff at least.
Speaking of coaching staffs, did you read the latest from Sean? Nebraska special teams coach Josh Martin has been named the new head coach of Liberty Christian High School. Liberty Christian thrilled to announce Josh Martin as our new head football coach.
I didn't know we had a special teams coordinator.
From the University of Nebraska, bringing 15 years of experience, both the collegiate and high school levels. Join us in welcoming Coach Martin to Liberty Christian.
I didn't know we appointed Martin to special teams.
Apparently, he didn't stick around very long.
No,
he was already on the staff somewhere.
No, that's weird. Is that from Sean Callahan?
Yeah, came out last night, late last night.
Yeah, I didn't know that he got appointed to the special teams coordinator's position at Nebraska, and by the time he's appointed and moving into his new office, he's already quit.
Gonna go take the high school job.
That's interesting. Yeah, we'll keep our eyeballs on that. Florida State offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn announced his retirement yesterday after 35 years in the coaching ranks, including stints as the head coach at Arkansas State, Auburn, and Central Florida. Malzahn has spent the past season with the Seminoles to be closer to his family after stepping down at Central Florida, where he spent the previous 4 seasons. In his 13 years as the head coach, Malzahn went 105-62 with only 2 losing seasons. In 8 years at Auburn, from 2013 to 2020, he went 63-35, including a national championship game appearance in 2013 against Florida State. He also won 2 SEC West Division titles. So Gus Malzahn, who's been around for a long time, is now calling it quits, going to retire. Florida State head coach Mike Norvell has promoted co-offensive coordinator and receivers coach Tim Harris to the offensive coordinator's position. So some movement there down at Florida State.
What about Tennessee? This is interesting. Think back 15 years ago. 15 years ago, athletes would have been filing lawsuits to get out of the college football scene and leave the NFL early. And if they would have been restricted, they would have been filing lawsuits to try to play in the NFL early. Now you have athletes that are filing lawsuits against the NCAA so they can stay in college. and keep earning that nil money. Take, for instance, Joey Aguilar. This was released about 12 hours ago. Per CBS Sports, Joey Aguilar suing the NCAA seeking an additional year of eligibility at Tennessee. Tennessee is kind of moving forward here in the transfer portal. They're going to try to find a quarterback. Joey Aguilar has been ruled ineligible. Aguilar is, if the court granted Aguilar relief from the NCAA's JUCO rule, apparently junior college transfer rule, in the near term, Tennessee would have a spot for him on the roster and would welcome him back, says the Knoxville News Sentinel. His compensation for playing college football would be approximately $2 million. He played 2 seasons of junior college football, which he argues should not count against his eligibility clock. Good God. It's another one of those 28-year-old quarterbacks.
Well, he might have a case.
Why?
Junior
JUCO
college?
rule has always been there. You're a junior college transfer. You're a junior college transfer. That's where you go to get developed and noticed and move up. Those will count against your eligibility and should.
Well, he should. I'm not saying they're going to.
You just said he might have a case.
He might have his case. We'll see how that develops. That's interesting because I think there's been some cases involving JUCO transfers that have swung the players' way in the past. I'm not sure about that, but this seems like that is in my mind for some reason.
Aguilar will be 25 at the start of the 2026 campaign. His college football career started in 2019 at the City College of San Francisco. Did not play in 2020 due to we know what. Started 5 games at Diablo Valley College in 2021. Started 6 games the following year before making his Division I debut in 2023. 4 years after he went to college. He went to Appalachian State. He then transferred to Tennessee. Aguilar, again, will be 25 at the beginning of the 2026 calendar year.
So if he doesn't get the year of eligibility, then obviously he's going to be in the NFL draft.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's one of those, I think, quarterbacks that's kind of hanging on and wanting to cash in on the $2 million from Tennessee. I don't see
blame
his
him.
name surfacing too hard on the NFL draft board.
I don't blame him for wanting to hang around for $2 million.
Hell yeah.
All right. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. 402-834-1330 is the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. 402-834-1330. You can also leave us a message on our social media sites. Already chiming in, we were talking about the NFL and playing those international games. Amber chiming in with don't play international games on Sunday and then back to the States on a Thursday. That makes sense, too. I think the Chiefs got hosed this year. Didn't they play the international game on Sunday, and then we came back and played a Thursday night game the following week?
Yeah, I remember you being pissed about something like that.
Yeah, I think I was pissed at that time.
And then you had all the holidays.
Yeah, we played every single holiday.
Yeah.
Played on Christmas, played on Thanksgiving. Woe is me.
Woe is me.
So anyway, yeah, I just, like I said before, if we're going to play international games, let's make everybody play international games, shall we? We've got 9 of them this year. So you got 18 teams, 18 teams out of the 32 that can go play international games. Let's make it not the teams that were over there this year. You've got a lot to choose from. You've got 18 slots you can fill. We've got 32 teams in the league. The teams that played over there in the last year or two, cross them off of the list. Cross them off of the list and make the other teams go over there. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to play international games, let's make everybody play international games. Has Buffalo played over there?
Do you think the NFL uses like a like a dry erase board and has a list?
Has Buffalo played over internationally?
Oh, quit bitching. No.
No, see, there's one team right there.
Oh
Buffalo. Now, Buffalo would have some fan flavor internationally. Make the Bills play over there. You mentioned Dallas.
The only people that like
Dallas play
Buffalo
over
are
there.
Buffalo fans. Like, there's no flavor from outside of upstate New York. That's
You got
like
Josh Allen.
on the Bills Mafia.
You got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Why not promote him internationally?
Why not promote him?
There's your matchup right there for one of the games. Buffalo, Dallas. What's wrong with that? Buffalo, Dallas. That has a lot of luster to it internationally. There's your first matchup.
You're steaming about this.
Well,
You're on a hill here, bud.
You kind of brought it up with Jacksonville. Jacksonville always gets stuck with playing international games every year.
But here's the flip side of the coin is do better at your home stadium. You know, who is it? Jacksonville, the Jets, the Vikings, the Dolphins. They're kind of the four guys that get sent over internationally a lot. And that's a lot of internal fan support and a lot of eyeballs and ratings, and you know who you're getting the ratings from. So you don't care if you throw a game on at 8:00 in the morning. You know, you're not going to put Buffalo and Dallas, which is guaranteed to probably be your most watched game on a Sunday, at 8:00 in the morning. Like, you're going to use a little common sense and a little mathematics and a little money. I mean, at some point they're still running a business. So we got to stop bitching and talking about fairness, and we got to make everything fair for everybody. Like, that's out the window. It's a business.
You got to be fair.
They don't care about fair. Sports don't care about fair.
Get the eraser board up. Erase the names that have played over there the last couple of years. Make Buffalo play over there.
I don't want to tell you that Santa isn't real here, but the NFL does not care about fairness, my man.
What do you mean Santa's not real? What do you mean? Anyway, 7:17. There was a big college basketball game last night.
Oh.
Kansas beating Texas Tech 64-61.
Ew.
Jayhawks 11th in the country, Texas Tech 13th. Darren Peterson hit 2 late three-pointers for the Jayhawks to propel Kansas to the win. Finished with 19 points, 35 minutes of playing time. So Kansas very quietly sneaking into position here. We've got some Jayhawk fans that join us each and every day in the lobby. They're going to be all smiles this morning. Kansas picking up a win over Texas Tech last night, and they are now 11th in the latest AP college basketball poll.
Yeah, I don't know that there's so much, like, sneaking. Kansas has been good this entire year, but, you know, much like Nebraska, they needed a stretch to get healthy and to get right. I mean, hell, their head coach was even hospitalized for a little portion of the game or two. So, you know, they needed to get healthy, and they needed to get right, and now you're kind of seeing the fruition of the 5 on the floor. North Carolina looked good last night against Syracuse too. 10-point victory. Watched a little bit of that Tar Heels matchup for a while. But yeah, you're right. Kansas pulling off the 3-point victory over Texas Tech. Speaking of college basketball, we talked about it yesterday on the show. Would we stay in the top 10? Answer is yes. Nebraska retains the 9th ranking, and Mike, I think that's when you take a look at the top 10, that's an appropriate spot for us.
Yeah, Arizona is still ranked number 1. Michigan moves up to number 2. Then it's UConn, Duke, and Illinois. Then rounding out the top 10, you've got Gonzaga, Iowa State, Houston, Nebraska, and Michigan State. Purdue is in at number 12. So, yeah, Nebraska is settling at number 9. That looks more appropriate than the number 5 last week.
I wouldn't say more appropriate. I think undefeated 20-0 going in at number 5, right? Like, that wasn't. We weren't too high for our britches by any stretch of the imagination. We had 2 losses to 2 top 10 teams. I'm saying it's appropriate in the fact that we didn't get knocked out of the top 10, but we weren't hanging around and lingering around the 6 or 7 spot either. I think we dropped appropriately. We escalated appropriately too, and now if we can get back on the winning track, I have no doubt we'll start that slow climb again towards the top. But yeah, I don't think that the 5 was an inappropriate ranking. Hell, we were 20-0, one of 3 teams in the country at that time.
So Nebraska's got Rutgers coming up on Saturday. I still think that's going to be a close game. Yeah, we don't want to drop a 3rd straight game. Then we won't be in the top 10.
Nope.
That's guaranteed. Yeah, we lose to Rutgers on Saturday. We're out of the top 10 next week.
Well, I'm getting rid of that negative energy right now. Like,
mark my word, Saturday will be a tough game.
It'll be tough, sure. It's 11 o'clock in the morning on the other side of the coast.
Yep.
You know, the travel and then the early start time, and there's a lot of factors working against us. We're on the road. But good teams find a way to win, and I think we can find a way to win, so.
All right, so the Huskers and Rutgers, 11 o'clock starting time, BTN on Saturday. Put that down as your early morning TV viewing. The women's poll led by UConn this week. UCLA is second, followed by South Carolina, Texas, and LSU. So that takes care of the basketball polls from yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let's see, where do we want to go? Let's talk GPAC softball, shall we? Hastings College, 7th, tied for 7th in the GPAC softball preseason poll. The Broncos finished 22-22 last year, 10-12 in the conference. Hastings going to be opening up their season, by the way, this Thursday down in Kansas City against Avila. Midland has been picked by the league's coaches to win the championship this year. The Warriors were 40-18 last year. They played in the NAIA Softball World Series in Columbus, Georgia. Morningside was second in the preseason poll, followed by Northwestern, Dortz, and Concordia. Dakota Wesleyan was 6th. Hastings and Mount Marty tied for 7th. And rounding out the poll were Doane, College of St. Mary's, Briar Cliff, and Waldorf. So that's your preseason poll for softball. And again, the season was supposed to start last weekend, but games were canceled for both the softball team and the baseball teams for Hastings College. They were supposed to play, I think, down in Kansas, both of them. And they were called off because of the wintry conditions. So they'll try to play games this week. The baseball team will be going to Louisiana to play. And then, again, the softball team playing down in Kansas City against Avila to begin their season. But Hastings picked to finish 7th this year, tied for 7th in the Great Plains Athletic Conference.
I would, let's see, what's the word I want to use? Hesitate not to use the word picked here. The GPAC poll is a reflection of how the standings finished a year ago.
For the most part.
Take whatever sport. Football, baseball, basketball, softball, you name it. For the most part, it is a reflection upon how you finished a year ago. And you look at how Midland finished a year ago, and then you look at some of those games that were played. And Hastings was 1 out away from sending Midland home in the GPAC softball tournament on their home turf at their home stadium. So I don't take a look at the preseason polls and say, oh man, lost season already, we're going to have an uphill climb. GPAC softball is a different beast, man. Anybody can take anybody at any given day. Your entire depth chart and the way your roster works on any given day can change based on the direction that the wind is blowing. All of a sudden, you're a heavy offensive team, and you've been hitting bombs all day, and the wind blows in, and now you got to play a little small ball. And so, all of a sudden, the entire dynamic of the conference can change, and your Teams that are struggling and grinding towards the bottom can go up and get into one-run games with the absolute elite of the GPAC. It's going to be what it is, man. It's going to be a competitive bloodbath like it always is, and you look forward to the season because of the air of unpredictability that goes into GPAC softball. Not a damn one of these teams is untalented by any stretch. There's all good players that are sprinkled around throughout the conference, and so I'm looking forward to another competitive GPAC season. And again, I don't put too much stock into the preseason rankings. I think proof's going to be in the pudding when we come out of off season, and we want to carry that momentum into the grind of the conference season again.
We'll have Hastings College softball coming up again this year on Extreme Sports. But again, they'll open this season this weekend in Kansas City against Avila, picked for 7th place, tied for 7th place in the GPAC softball preseason poll. I got some high school basketball coming up tonight. Adams Central going to play host to St. Cecilia out at the Patriots gym. St. Cecilia beat Adams Central last year in the girls' game, 44-35. Adams Central won the boys' game last year over St. Cecilia, 72-50. Action gets underway at 6 tonight for the girls' game, 7:30 for the boys. We'll have the contest here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 5:45. Hell, we could probably start at 4:45, but we better keep it standard here. 5:45 pregame show tonight. Hastings St. Cecilia and Adams Central from the Patriot Gym. So,
why would you want to start a cross-town rivalry at 4:45 when people aren't off work?
Well, they could listen to our pregame information. Listen to all of our pregame information on their way to the gym. Because you better get there early tonight because it'll be jammed.
Oh, it'll be packed,
like all these games are. So don't act like you're going to walk in at 7:20 tonight to see the boys' game, and then sit your ass right in front of my table so I can't see. That's what happens.
Whoa.
That's what happens.
Well, people
come in. People show up early. And where do they sit? The entire gym is empty.
Oh, sure.
Where do they sit? They come up and sit with me.
They want to hear you.
Bring your radio, or not your radio, but bring your iPad. No, they don't want to listen to me. They can't hear me anyway.
Oh, they can too.
Or then you got Johnny Early that shows up and sits right beside me or right ahead of me.
You're a popular guy at sporting events, man.
Then you've got the guy that walks in at tip-off time, and he sees just a small little space up there that I might have my coat, my 4 bags of equipment, and Gino's bag and his treat bag. And he sees just a little sliver of empty space up there right beside me.
Oh, man.
And he wants to slide in there and move all my crap aside and sit his big butt right beside me and cramps our space. I've got my space. Don't inhibit my space.
Need your bubble.
Well,
I didn't know that.
You do plenty of games. You've seen those guys walk in. At the last second, they see a little sliver of a spot up there. The whole place is jammed. I could slide in beside Mike here. There's a little.
As long as they don't stand in front of me, I'm good.
No, I need my space.
Need your bubble.
I need my space in my bubble. So don't act like you're going to come up because I'm not moving my stuff. No, I don't see my bag sitting there.
Oh,
yeah, somebody sitting here? No. But that's my stuff. And this is my space. This is my space.
Chief says he's going to sit in front of you so he doesn't block your view. Chief is tall, by the way. So
I know Chief is. The Chief, he can sit around me and keep people away from me.
There you go.
So, all right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's 7:30. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
Feel better?
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Let's start at the state capitol, where Nebraska lawmakers heard a bill yesterday that would overhaul the state's school funding formula to boost equalization aid and lower property taxes. LB 1038, introduced by Senator Jana Hughes, proposes cutting the maximum school tax levy in half and redirecting some property tax credits into education funding. Supporters say it simplifies and equalizes school aid, while critics worry it could disproportionately impact agriculture valuations and question the lack of financial impact data. Meanwhile, the chair of Nebraska's Medical Cannabis Commission, Dr. Monica Oldenburg, has resigned, stepping down at Monday's commission meeting just 9 months after her appointment by Governor Jim Pillen. Laurel Muting was unanimously named the interim chair as the commission responsible for implementing the state's voter-approved medical cannabis law continues its work. Muting said she would regulate the new legalization while respecting the will of the voters. A replacement for full executive director is expected once the governor appoints a new member. Meanwhile, Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen says he supports a bill that would tighten state law to clearly ban foreign nationals from contributing to ballot question committees and impose financial penalties for violations. Current law does prohibit such contributions, but Evnen says the definitions and enforcements are weak. A public hearing on the bill is scheduled this week at the state capitol. It is now coming up on 7:32. We'll head over to the East Side Bubble, where Mike Will has got your sports.
Prince of Nebraska has advanced to the list of 10 midseason candidates for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year award. Prince is averaging 18.1 points and 4.4 assists per game this season. She's hitting 56.4% from the field, including 50% from three-point territory. She's also the Big Ten's best free throw shooter at 93% and has hit a school record 48 consecutive free throws. Again, the Nebraska baseball team will open the season this weekend at the MLB Desert Invitational in Arizona. The Huskers will play UConn on Friday, Northeastern on Saturday, Grand Canyon on Sunday, and Stanford on Monday. Nebraska finished 33-29 last year, won the Big Ten Conference Tournament, and went 1-2 in the Chapel Hill Regional. Hastings is tied for 7th in the GPAC softball preseason poll. The Broncos finished 22-22 last year, 10-12 in the conference. Midland has been picked by the league's coaches to win the championship this year. The Warriors finished 40-18 last year and played in the NAIA Softball World Series in Columbus, Georgia. Morningside was second in the preseason poll, followed by Northwestern, Dordt, and Concordia. Dakota Wesleyan was 6th. Hastings and Mount Marty tied for 7th. Rounding out the poll were Doane, College of St. Mary's, Briar Cliff, and Waldorf. And again, high school basketball tonight. St. Cecilia plays at Adams Central this evening. Girls game at 6. The boys will follow at 7:30. On the air with a pregame at 5:45 this afternoon here on Extreme Sports. Hastings High also in action. They will play a doubleheader, the girls and boys up in Grand Island against Northwest. The NFL will play a regular season game in Mexico City in 2026. The league last played a game in Mexico City in 2022. The NFL will play regular season games this year in Paris, in Melbourne, Rio de Janeiro, Munich, and Madrid, and in 3 games in London. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:34 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Tuesday is a transition day with warmer weather coming back into the picture for the rest of the week. Today we'll have partly sunny skies and a high in the low 40s. Winds should be fairly light out of the north at 5 to 10. Tonight we'll have an outside chance for a little bit of light snow, little or no accumulations expected. On Wednesday we will remain in the low 40s with mostly sunny skies. And then on Thursday we're all the way up to the low 60s with sunny skies, mid-50s Friday and carrying over to the weekend as well.
Right now, as you wake up, get going, we've got north winds at 9 miles per hour. It is cloudy. It is 29 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hey, this is Mick from Miletta Vista Winery in St. Paul. Just a reminder, winter hours will be Saturdays, 11:30 to 9, January through February. That's just one day a week. But come in for lunch. Homemade soup specials on Saturdays. Stick around for the evening meals that start at 5. And while you're at it, stock up on your favorite wines. Workhorse, Elephant Ear, Steuben Tiger, and more are available at Miletta Vista and wherever great Nebraska wines are sold. Miletta Vista Winery. Good wine, good food, no snow boots required, but we won't judge.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
NASCAR fans, it's time to put your race knowledge to the test. Welcome to the Extreme Sports Fantasy NASCAR League. Pick your drivers, score points every week, and climb the leaderboard as the season heats up. Create your own league to battle your friends, or join the official Extreme Sports League and compete with fans everywhere. Want into the Extreme Sports League? Email info@x-streamsports.com. Ready to race? Sign up today at x-streamsports.com/fantasy.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson and Bronick with you, getting you through a Tuesday morning here, 7:37. We mentioned go ahead.
I was just going to close the book on the conversation about some space because I had the time to think about it and digress a little bit. I don't mind people sitting around me, but I want to tell you from experience, I've had a couple bad experiences with people sitting around me. The one that comes to mind is state. Especially in the early round games when they're held at high school gyms, or at least used to be held at high school gyms.
Yeah,
they'd plot you right in the middle of the opposing fan section, and that wasn't good because I don't have a volume or an enthusiasm meter that goes below 10 at ball games. I just don't. I go 4 on the floor and send it to 10 immediately. And some of the opposing fans were a little less than impressed with my enthusiasm. At times. BDS, I'm looking at you. Yeah. So you get stuck in the middle of the opposing fan section in enemy territory. That's an awkward feeling. And the other one is, I don't mind people sitting around me unless you get the wannabe referee.
Oh, yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Yep,
3 seconds!
Yep.
Over the back! 3 seconds!
Come on, ref!
Right into your microphone. And you're like, dude, knock it off.
Do you ever say anything?
I look and I say words with my eyes. I'm like, there's a lot of 4-letter words that are going off when I'm staring at you, trying to get you to shut up. And then if you don't notice...
But you never really told a fan in front of you to shut up?
No. No, because that's not my responsibility. You got to just know better. You have to adult. I can't adult an adult.
So don't sit by us.
If you're gonna be a backup referee, don't sit by the radio, people.
No. All right. Let's talk some Husker baseball, shall we?
I'm excited.
The weather is going to be nice this week, and we might as well talk about the spring sports and the Huskers. Hell, they probably wouldn't have to even go to Arizona to get a game in this week because the temps are going to be in the 50s, and you heard Tim, even the 60s this week. But the Huskers they're heading off to play in Mesa and Scottsdale, Arizona this weekend in the MLB Desert Invitational. Husker head coach Will Bolt says his team is ready to get the season started.
Yeah, we've been going at it now since the 12th of January, and I'm sure the guys are at this point ready to see somebody else, but also understanding that we have some good days, it looks like this week, to get outdoors and hopefully scrimmage a few days this week and see some fly balls and get some live base running and some of those things. So be a good cap to some good preseason workouts.
And Bolt says the preparations for this season actually started way last fall.
Yeah, I think the main thing that we always talk to the team about is just like that. The fall is always a staging process. I mean, there's guys that have great falls that come back in January and don't do as well, and vice versa. And just nobody really cares about the fall stats. Really, the fall is kind of a staging process individually, but it's also more of a time to just kind of set the tone for the team and just like what the mentality of the group's going to be, how tight we are, how well we play off each other, how competitive we are. And those are things that they open your eyes in the fall. And then you kind of set that bar for what that's going to look like come springtime. And I think the guys, that it's been a consensus with this group is that they've meshed really well. The personalities mesh really well all the way back in August. We set the tone by having a real competitive fall, and they were really determined to come back in January and make sure that we just continue that on. And that's a difference maker, honestly, early on when the margin for error is so thin, especially everybody's kind of just getting out and playing, for the first time early. There's going to be some mistakes here and there for both teams. But the teams that are kind of the most tight-knit, that have the chemistry, that play together better, kind of have the best chance to get the big hit when it matters most, make the big pitch, the big play when it matters most. And I think that's something that we saw early on the 2024 season, where we got off to a great start. We won a lot of close games. And then last year was a little bit the opposite of that. We just didn't have that chemistry between both sides of the ball, and it took us a while to figure it out. But this year we're hoping to continue what we've been doing and get off to a great start.
Yeah, we're listening to Will Bolt, the Nebraska baseball coach. Huskers opening up the season this weekend down in Arizona. And the coach says they're going to have a lot of new faces on the roster this year.
Every year it's about half the roster. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes. It's just like you got to figure out a way to get the right guys on the bus that are coming back from the year before that are going to help you win. And now we have this group of guys. There's 20 of them. I think 12 guys that all they've known in college baseball is winning Big Ten championships. So that's a good thing, right? And they also want to do more. They want to, they came back because they wanted to be part of doing something a little bit more. So, then the new guys coming in, just understanding that they're running to something here, right? They've come here saying, hey, I want to be part of a winning program. I want to be part of the culture that I see there. You go through the recruiting process and, you just try to be as transparent and open as you can about how things are and kind of lay it out there for those new guys and say, hey, this is who we are. Take us for what we are. And I saw a group of guys that were running to something here. So a bunch of guys meshing well together and just kind of excited to see how it all comes together.
One of those new guys in the lineup will be Jet Buck. He is a transfer from Washburn. In 2 seasons for the Ichabods, Jet Buck hit .347 with 30 doubles, 4 triples, 35 home runs, 120 RBIs, and 100 runs scored.
He's a wiry, strong kid. He grew up riding dirt bikes, so he's got the strength between his elbows and his fingertips, which is pretty incredible. How that translates, honestly, into hitting. I mean, and just the strength he has in the barrel of the bat's pretty impressive. So if you make a mistake over the middle, he's going to make you pay. So he's a guy we expect to do damage for us.
Case Sanderson is back for the Huskers for another season, and Will Bolt says he expects a good year out of him.
He's been a very consistent hitter, .320 in his career, been an everyday starter for 2 years. Really a plus defender at first base, but he wants to play professional baseball. Not a lot of, singles hitters in the big leagues that are playing first base. So, I'm not going to sit here and make some wild prognostications as to how many homers he's going to hit. I do know he's hitting the ball harder. He's using all fields. Now, he's always been an off-field hitter. He's always been an opposite field hitter with rare pull ability. Now he's doing a lot better job of using the whole field, and excited to see what he can bring as a run producer.
Another guy coming back for the Huskers for this year will be Joshua Overbeek. Played at third base for the Huskers. Had an injury late in the season. Did not play a whole lot during the fall, but he is back. Joshua Overbeek for the Huskers.
Yeah, we really didn't see much of him in the fall. He came back for about a week and kind of re-injured that foot. Ended up having surgery and removed the bone from his foot, which I think has certainly really, really helped him. Shown no signs of being slowed down with that this January. Full go defensively on the bases. He looks fantastic in the box. Made a couple of adjustments with him physically and mentally too. I think just trying to get him, a little bit more honed in to maybe some of his power that he's unlocked at times for us. Mm-hmm. But he looks great, and you're really, again, another guy with this kind of a consistent theme. An older guy who we expect and need to be a run producer for us. If you look back to last year, especially when we went on our run in like the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season, Beek was getting all the clutch hits. Beek was the 2-out RBI king. Beek was, just driving the baseball and really hitting his stride. So he's kind of picked up where he's left off, made some improvements even from there, and more than anything, he's kind of been that vocal, hands down. He's the alpha of the group, where the guys look to him, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him kind of mature. And he's been that at times in his career, but this year kind of taking that on and getting that extra season of eligibility granted to him. He's like, I'm going to take advantage of this, and he's been an awesome leader for us.
All right, another new guy that will be in the lineup on and off throughout the season will be Jeter Worthley. He's a freshman catcher that's creating some noise. He's coming in from Lincoln East High School.
Yeah, high energy, man. Like just a winning IQ player, just going to bring the juice for the team. I mean, the pitching staff loves pitching to him just because he's really just – his body language and demeanor is that of a quarterback back there. And, it's rare for a freshman to be in that position. I haven't had many starting catchers that are freshmen in my career ever, wherever I've been. So it kind of just speaks to his talent and his athleticism. And I think we have 3 really good catchers, actually, that all, are going to be very, very big contributors in their own right. But Jeter is a special player. I think he's got a chance to be a good pro and play baseball for a long time when he's done here as well. But take his hits the other way. He's learning to drive the ball in the gaps a little bit more, pick his spots with that. His throwing's improved. He's just a high-energy player that's just, he scored 26 runs in the fall from the leadoff spot. I think which is like 10 more than anybody else we had on our team. So pretty impressive what he's done in a short amount of time here as a Husker.
All right, that's Husker head coach Will Bolt. A little preview on the 2026 Huskers. And again, they'll begin their season this weekend at the MLB Desert Invitational. Friday against UConn. That'll be a night game at 7. Saturday, they'll play Northeastern at 7:30. Sunday, they'll play Grand Canyon at 6:30. Then they'll wrap up their road trip with a 2 o'clock game on Monday afternoon against Stanford. So there you go. Spring sports underway, my man. Husker baseball starting this week in Arizona. Hastings College baseball starting this week in Louisiana. Hastings College softball starting their season this week in Kansas City.
We got, I think, a couple. The UConn and Stanford games, check me if I'm wrong, but I think both of those games are going to be on MLB Network with the MLB Showcase that's going on here this weekend. I remember Grand Canyon. They've knocked us a couple years in a row. Been a team that we've scheduled in the early part of the season. We went on the road last year to Grand Canyon because obviously we start off the baseball season. We go to locations where it's warm. Grand Canyon, it's pretty decent temperature-wise down there in February. But we got knocked around a little bit from a team that I think a lot of people thought we would flex against. So I don't know. I think expectations-wise, I'm just looking for a baseball team, Mike, that's going to go out there and win a couple series this year. I'm tired of limping into the Big Ten tournament and then turning it on in late May and early June, and all of a sudden, now it's time to play baseball again, and let's go sneak into a regional after kind of a mediocre regular season, and then flexing winning the Big Ten tournament. I got no problems winning the Big Ten baseball tournament, but God, we make the work pretty hard for ourselves.
Well, the coach talked about the run that they had at the end of the season. Despite all that, we were just 33-29 last year. So despite all the winning that we had at the end of the season, that's how bad we were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I just want to see us start off earlier, start off better, pick up a couple of these wins. Remember, last year we knocked off Vanderbilt, but then turned around and got kicked in the teeth by Grand Canyon, and we just had, we weren't consistent. We weren't winning at a consistent enough clip. And when we get home series, man, we got to take those home series. We got to take home field advantage back in the Big Ten because, it's not your father's Big Ten anymore, right? Like when we joined, I thought, well, basketball is going to be hella hard. Football probably has increased in difficulty in terms of getting Nebraska to the cream of the crop, just with all the blue bloods that are there. But we joined baseball, and before we let the rest of the Western Hemisphere into our conference, I thought Nebraska could own the Big Ten in baseball. But now you're throwing in blue bloods like UCLA and USC and some of those Cali schools. So, it's going to take a top effort. But I just want to see better performances at home, more consistent pitching, and more consistent weekends where we go and we pick up a series. We don't drop 2 or 3 to Minnesota and Ohio State down the stretch. We got to win those games. Put us in a better position for the conference tournament. Put us in a better position in the field of 64 when we get into the regionals and super regionals. Crossing our fingers if we can get there. We put ourselves behind the 8 ball so many times in the last couple of years. Let's flip the script a little bit. Let's get a little easier path for us in the postseason.
All right, so Husker baseball getting started here this week as they make the trip down to Mesa and also Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm sure it's very pleasant down there right now. 7:52. Nice. Yeah, I haven't checked the temperature, but I assume they'll have 60s and 70s. Arizona this time of the year. Why not? Perfect baseball weather. 7:52, waking up with Mike and Tyson this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen said he supports a bill that would tighten state law to clearly ban foreign nationals from contributing to ballot question committees and impose financial penalties for violations. Current law prohibits such contributions, but Evnen says definitions and enforcement are weak. A public hearing on the bill is scheduled this week at the state capitol. Speaking of ballot initiatives, the chair of Nebraska's Medical Cannabis Commission, Dr. Monica Oldenburg, has resigned, stepping away at yesterday's commission meeting just 9 months after her appointment by Governor Jim Pillen. Laurel Muting has been unanimously named interim chair as the commission, responsible for implementing the state's voter-approved medical cannabis law, continues its work. Muting said she would regulate the new legalization while respecting the will of the voters. A replacement is expected once the governor appoints a new member. And Nebraska lawmakers heard a bill yesterday that would overhaul the state's school funding formula. Yeah, TIOSA back in the news for another legislative session. The bill would boost equalization aid and lower property taxes, according to Senator Jana Hughes, who introduced it. She says proposing cutting the maximum school tax levy in half and redirecting some property tax credits into education funding. Supporters say it simplifies and equalizes school aid, while critics worry that it could disproportionately impact agriculture valuations and question the lack of financial impact data. It is coming up on 7:55, 5 minutes till 8 o'clock. Let's head over to the East Side Studios. Mike Will, Scotch Sports.
Well, Nebraska has dropped 4 spots to number 9 in the latest AP Men's College Basketball poll. Huskers are 20-2 on the season after suffering losses to Michigan and Illinois last week. Arizona is ranked number 1, followed by Michigan, UConn, Duke, and Illinois. Rounding out the top 10 are Gonzaga, Iowa State, Houston, Nebraska, and Michigan State. Purdue is in at number 12. UConn continues to lead the women's poll. UCLA is second, followed by South Carolina, Texas, and LSU. Brent Prince of Nebraska is advanced to the list of 10 mid-season candidates for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year award. Prince is averaging 18.1 points and 4.4 assists per game this season. She's hitting 56.4% from the floor, including 50% from three-point territory. She's also the Big Ten's best free throw shooter at 93% and has hit a school record 48 consecutive free throws. Hastings is tied for 7th in the GPAC softball preseason poll. Broncos finished 22-22 last year, 10-12 in the conference. Midland has been picked by the league's coaches to win the championship this year. The Warriors finished 40-18 last year and played the NAIA Softball World Series in Columbus, Georgia. Morningside was second in the preseason poll, followed by Northwestern, Dordt, and Concordia. Dakota Wesleyan was 6th. Hastings and Mount Marty tied for 7th. Running out the poll were Doane, the College of St. Mary's, Briar Cliff, and Waldorf. High school basketball action tonight. St. Cecilia will play at Adams Central. Last year, the Adams Central boys beat the Blue Hawks 72-50. In the girls' game, St. Cecilia beat Adams Central 44-35. Girls' game will be at 6 tonight. The boys will follow at 7:30. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. Other action tonight, Hastings High will play at Northwest. That's a check into sports headlines at 7:57.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Tuesday is a transition day with warmer weather coming back into the picture for the rest of the week. Today we'll have partly sunny skies and a high in the low 40s. Winds should be fairly light out of the north at 5 to 10. Tonight we'll have an outside chance for a little bit of light snow, little or no accumulations expected. On Wednesday we will remain in the low 40s with mostly sunny skies. And then on Thursday we're all the way up to the low 60s with sunny skies, mid-50s Friday, and carrying over to the weekend as well.
We've got north winds this morning at about 9 miles per hour. Cloudy skies. It is 29 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give us a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
NASCAR fans, it's time to put your race knowledge to the test. Welcome to the Extreme Sports Fantasy NASCAR League. Pick your drivers, score points every week, and climb the leaderboard as the season heats up. Create your own league to battle your friends, or join the official Extreme Sports League and compete with fans everywhere. Want into the Extreme Sports League? Email info@x-streamsports.com. Ready to race? Sign up today at x-streamsports.com/fantasy.
All right, it's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Tuesday. Going to have some basketball tonight. Adams Central playing host to St. Cecilia. Girls game will be at 6. Boys game at 7:30. On there with a pregame 5:45 this afternoon right here on Extreme Sports. We'll have Hastings College basketball tomorrow night with the Broncos taking on Midland at Lynn Farrell Arena. So more basketball, more hoops action as we head to, I guess, a stretch run in high school basketball. Just a couple of weeks left. We'll start the postseason play. Same thing for the Broncos. I think we got, five games left for the regular season. Then we'll get into the conference tournament and postseason play for them. So we talked spring sports today. That gave us a good feeling as we heard the comments from Will Bolt and the Huskers. Springtime is coming, despite what that very little rodent said yesterday.
I don't know. I have just, said yesterday, go out with the kind of confidence that the groundhog thinks he's a meteorologist with, and you're gonna get through life okay. Quick comment cleanup here from today. Ryan Martin chiming in. Thanks for mentioning the Kansas score. DP was clutch last night, knocking down 2 3-pointers to tie and win the game. Big road win. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Jim, with the Breeders' Cup knowledge, Breeders' Cup juvenile champion Ted Nafi, the favorite to win the Kentucky Derby, has been sidelined after standing what trainer Todd Pletcher described as a bone bruise. He's expected to resume training in the early training preparation window for a late summer campaign.
Oh, so one of the Derby favorites is already out?
Bone bruise.
All right, Jim Slacker.
Bummer.
Our horse racing guru. He's going to be joining us again beginning next Friday. Horse racing season starts at Fodder Park, so
that's kind of like the unofficial start to spring for me.
When Fodder Park opens their season?
Horse racing season. It's when you know everything's going to be okay. Opening day is like opening day, Springs Eternal. Hope Springs Eternal, everybody's 0-0. MLB opening day is like my national holiday. The horse racing season opening up is a very close second.
Although we've had some years where we've dealt with snow.
But then the very next day it's 85 and it melts. So
that's what I told you earlier. When I don't mind snows in
spring
late
snows
February,
are okay.
Yeah, March. That's what I was
away pretty quick.
When I was up in South Dakota last week. I was talking to the radio guys up there. I says, when this came out on the schedule, and I was driving to Mitchell, South Dakota on January the 31st, I thought, oh boy, this does not look good. But then I get up there, and they have no snow on the ground. I said, where's your snow? Well, we had like 6 inches like last week, but it all melted. Yep. Those are the snows I like. Not the snows like in November that hang around clear until March and you got snow on the ground. I can handle the snow that's just melted away, and we're back to seeing brown grass.
I'm with you, big buddy.
All right. If you'd like to download the show, listen to the show at your convenience today, had some comments. In fact, a lot of comments from Husker baseball coach Will Bolt as the Huskers get ready to open up their season this week down in Arizona. You can listen to those comments as well. Our take in the first half of the show, we were on the NFL playing international games. Tyson mentioned that it doesn't have to be fair.
It's not fair.
It doesn't have to be fair, so you can listen to those comments in the first half of the show. Download it, listen to it at your convenience today on the podcast. If not, join us again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock with the Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8